Alrighty guys, hello and welcome back to the show. So here we go, a map that I had some opinions on. Some people liked those opinions, other people didn't. But either way, whenever one of the dudes in this game, Toxka, reached out to me saying, hey, you want to play some Dual Gap tonight? I was like, well, you know, not really, but I do feel like I owe this map another look. So I'm up here in the far northeastern corner or northwestern corner. We'll introduce the players real quick. We got Raging Sloth, we've got Final Rendezvous, we have got Wapu, we've got Sinflax, and last but not least, we have Toxka, the guy who invited me to this game. We are going up against Robert, who is going Siren, and we're going up against Imperial Silence. Skylaw, who I actually have played with before. He's a chill dude, seems, at least, from the couple of interactions I've had with him. We've got Keech, and we've got Knight 33 and Gaver 13. I know none of these guys, with the exception of Skylaw before. So anyway, I was running into... Let's hope this doesn't end up on that YouTube channel of yours. All right, well, hey, it showed up. Anyway, I rolled into this game like a big dick in a locker room where I'm just like, you know, I'm a map gen player. I know what's going on. Everybody bow down to me. The ultimate Chad Supreme Commander player. Not really. I didn't actually do that, but I thought it would be funny. So anyway, got into this game and lots of stuff happened. So we're going to walk through what happened in the game first. Then we're going to talk about my opinion on this map and whether it's changed or not. Because whenever I made that video on maps and things like that, I had not played Dual Gap in probably a year or longer. So figured I owed it another shot, and we'll see if my opinion changes. So right off the bat, something I was not expecting was early aggression out of one of my opponents. We got some labs coming in. I was expecting to be left alone and eco the entire time. He killed, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 engineers there. So that was rough. And walked in with my commander up forward to assist Raging Sloth as much as I could. And I told him to ping me when you're going for an upgrade because I don't really pay attention to this kind of stuff on the side very often, which I probably should. That's one of the things that I need to do better at as a player. He didn't. So anyway, I just kind of walked my comm up there and went for reclaim instead. One thing I did notice is that a lot of people are using attack move on their engineers instead of attack move out of the factory, which, if you remember back to my reclaim video, is probably your second best option for reclaiming. Best is if you've got these engineers on an attack move order out of the factory that are just going to be vacuuming up everything in sight. They get some absolutely outstanding range. As you can see, I've already cleared out like a lot of the trees here. And that's even after I lost like a huge amount of engineers. If you look down on this side, there's still quite a bit that the teammates on really both sides. Wow, Robert definitely vacuumed his up. Same with Knight 33 and people down there. Okay, so these are obviously the Chad gamers. These are definitely the big dicks in the locker room. I'm not feeling insecure about myself at all at this point. So essentially the only thing I did in this game was walk up here, drop a command, or drop a factory, or at this point, it's drop a factory and get some engineers out. Robert also went for an early strat, so I had just a lot of early pressure. Luckily this was already on its way to a Tech 3 mechs, so I didn't have to restart that, which was really, really lucky, but I'm feeling a little bit behind. I'm feeling a little bit inadequate at this point. And I've seen lots of Dual Gap players patrol their ASF over this ridgeline, so I was like, hey, I obviously have no idea what I'm doing at this point because I've already been lab rushed and strat rushed. So maybe I should take a page out of their playbook and start patrolling some ASF. But by and large, pretty standard Dual Gap, big fire basing coming out from both sides really. With Skylaw, I think putting a little bit less of an emphasis on it, all things considered, as we do have Ravagers, and actually a Ravager creep coming out from Final Rendezvous. And then we've got Navy, and this was fun to deal with. So we only have one Navy player. They had two for a second, but it looks like he just upgraded it to Tech 2 and then gave over the HQ. So Knight 33 just gave over the HQ to Keech, and they are just absolutely taking us to school here on like how to play dual gap Navy. So at this point, Wapu doesn't really have a whole lot of options other than just try and hold the mouth of this river, which doesn't feel great like as a Navy player whenever you just kind of get pinned in a little bit. But that's allowing the Navy to start putting pressure on Final Rendezvous, who is going to collapse there, which means the Skylock can start putting pressure on Raging Sloth. So everything kind of comes back to this Navy push, which was well executed, in my humble opinion. And if I hadn't dealt with so much early harassment, was trying to get ASF out to make sure that I didn't get stratted again, I would have shifted over to torpedo bombers sooner. But I felt like I needed to get some ASF out, and I felt like I needed to at least get like some shielding up. I'm even going for an SMD here, as well as an Omni, to try and make sure that we can see at least a little bit of what's going on. The Navy's coming in, gonna overwhelm. And I think that was when this is when I shifted over to torpedo bomber production at some point, which was obviously too late. But we're going for, and that's Wapu going down. So now we have no Navy at all, which is great. Sending in torpedo bombers to do what they can. And we're able to deal with the cruisers relatively easily. I've got another wave coming out here to deal with the last one. And so then from there we can take care of the destroyers. And then I do see a lot of floating Zuis coming in, so shifted production to gunships to deal with that. Or at least try to. And same from Toxka down there in the south. So he's got some whalers out. I've got some Volthus. So we'll be able to deal with the Tech 1 spam coming into our bases. And I actually decided to go a little bit aggressive here. But we did not scout the Ethoda. And that Ethoda is going to absolutely annihilate Final Rendezvous. And that nuke is coming for me. And I saw this. But my SMD was not loaded yet. So that effectively eliminates me from the game. My comm was not in my base because I was scared of another strat rush. Little did I know that I was going to be dealing with nukes. So anyway, Final Rendezvous is going to go down. Raging Sloth going to go down. Both of those to Ethoda. I have been killed by a nuke. Wapu got killed by Navy. And at this point, the game is not looking very good for us. I've got Volthus that are twitching in the middle and getting put out of their misery by ASF out there from Gaver. The Ethoda coming into my base. Lucky for me, I got a ton of Volthus to be able to deal with it if I had been paying attention, which I wasn't. But that is a 4-rank vet, Ethoda. And it is going to escape with just a sliver of HP under the waves. I was not unhappy about that at all. I was perfectly fine with the way that went. And so at this point, we've lost air control, pretty much. Like Toxka still has some ASFs that are bumping around, and we do have a Fat Boy as well as some MMLs that are going for the Navy in here. But that nuke out from Robert is going after the Southern team. The Southern team did not build an SMD, so that kills the other two players. So it was a great game. I really enjoyed it. I didn't actually enjoy it that much. So my opinion remains largely unchanged, slightly amended, you might say. So in this game, we have a 31-minute game, almost a 32-minute game. Of the 6 players on our team, 1 died to Navy, 3 effectively died to nukes, and then 2 died to experimentals. So that's 5 out of the 6 players getting killed by late game stuff, which is pretty much what I said in the video that I said in the video is that, you know, these games more often than not devolve into late game stuff with very little actually happening in as far as any early game play, just because this map doesn't necessarily lend itself to early game play. So my opinion remains unchanged. But one thing that I did notice in a lot of the comments is that y'all really do not watch the entire video before you write a comment. And I find that really, really funny, because there were several people that said I was gatekeeping the game by saying that people shouldn't enjoy this in the way that they see fit. And I'm over here like, okay, tell me you didn't watch the entire video without telling me you didn't watch the entire video, because that is exactly what I said at the end of the video, is that what matters is that you are enjoying this game in a way that you see fit. So for me, still don't really care for this map. For everybody else in this game that, you know, probably plays this map on a semi-regular, if not regular basis, and, you know, come back and enjoy this kind of game, then more power to you. There's nothing wrong with enjoying this game in the way that you see fit, and nobody should tell you that, you know, you're a terrible person just because you play dual gap. People on the internet get so worked up about stuff. When at the end of the day, like, we all share a love for the same game, and this game is, what is it now, like 15 years old? Like, this is a crazy thing that this game like still stays alive whenever and has like the player base that it does. Like, I'm pretty sure there's more people playing FAF than there are playing Halo Infinite at this point. And I mean, while that's not a huge accomplishment, like Halo Infinite, huge AAA game, came out in the last couple of years. Fortune Alliance Forever was a AAA game, but it's been out for a really, really long time. So that's awesome that people are still enjoying this game in the way that they want, whether it's on Dual Gap, Thermo, Astro, whatever. My opinion, though, is that I don't really enjoy this map, and that this isn't a great map. But my opinion is my opinion, and I'm entitled to my opinion, just like you're entitled to your opinion, and you're allowed to disagree with me. And yeah, so let's leave it at that. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is like the third time I've made this video, so, you know, hopefully this is the best one. Third time's the charm, everybody. At least that's what... Never mind, I'm not going down that way. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace.